We are in the final days of May 2021, and Outlaw Pass 5 does indeed expire Monday night, and we really don't know for sure what's happening with Tuesday's update here for June 1st in Red Dead Online, whether it's just weekly bonuses and discounts like we've had since the Bounty Hunter expansion, or we get a new Outlaw Pass, or even in a new Outlaw Pass with some type of extra content. We still have a bit to wait for the summer update featuring the robberies that Rockstar announced, but I've been thinking this weekend about the initial reception to that announcement, and I guess in a nutshell, the sentiment is that what I was able to interpret is that the news was cool, lots of players expect Rockstar to under-deliver though, and they think these new additions to the game won't have any real lasting value or benefit when compared to previous DLCs. And today I wanted to discuss what appears to be the major problem that Rockstar faces when it comes to this robbery update for Red Dead Online, and also later on share some community opinions on whether or not this update will be the success we all would hope it can be. So if you enjoyed this video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on this video, and if you want to stay up to date and in the loop with everything Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, consider hitting that subscribe button with your bell notifications turned on. So one of the first thoughts I wanted to share is that the wait for this highly requested content has been so long. People have wanted heists and robberies in this game since the release, and one of the reasons that people wanted this stuff is, one, not only is this game outlaw and thief focused, right? The whole story mode is about a gang stealing, committing robberies, all that type of stuff, but also people just came to expect that in Red Dead Online because of the success of heists and other types of robberies in GTA Online. And considering this game is from the same developer, you'd think they would have gotten the jump on that in this game, considering they knew everyone would want that type of content as soon as possible. And it looks like over 2.5 years after this game's release, we will be finally getting at least part of what we would think robberies would entail in this summer robbery update. But like I said, that is 2.5 years, and that is so long until then. So the expectations are very high if they've had this long to kind of build the foundation for this game, get the roles out there, get you introduced with all different aspects of the open world, and now you can finally move on to bigger high-stakes robberies, and the wait has been quite long. Now, the other thought I had is that the replayability here is a huge factor this time around, and I think this is a very important piece with the game as a whole. When you look at Telegram missions versus the roles versus stranger missions in this game, there's a few things that make some parts of the game more replayable, or at least more enjoyable to replay than others. For example, when it comes to roles, you're earning money, you're earning gold, you're earning experience, and it's part of this broader purpose you have in the game. Your character is starting their business at camp, they're a legendary bounty hunter, and they're taking down high-profile targets, versus something like the Telegram missions, where I personally enjoy them because they're high action. For example, with the Rich Pickings Telegram mission, I've done the stealthy approach a few times, but that's not my preferred way of playing. I just love going in guns blazing. I love the gunfights in this game. I love shooting the weapons. It just feels very satisfying, and so the Telegram missions are fun for me because there's so many enemies that spawn on these missions. It's quite enjoyable. But for players who want to go through the effort of going through a stealthy approach to steal the horse in a one-horse deal, or to steal the loot in the shelves and the boxes and the drawers in the Rich Pickings mission from the mansion, it's not very rewarding at all, because you're going through all that effort and you're going through the stealthy approach, getting in this role play type of vibe with the game, just to come out and have Josiah pay you for robbing the mansion and not actually keeping the loot for yourself to use. So it may not be replayable for some players, replayable for others. I fall kind of more in the middle here. I like doing it, but I do have some things that I don't like about the Telegram missions. For example, your businesses halt production in the middle of it, and that's the same for legendary bounties, that's the same for the Moonshiner role story missions, and I guess that's Rockstar's way of artificially slowing you down. You know, you're making a lot of money from the legendary bounties, or you honestly are making a decent amount of money with the Telegram missions if you are dragging out the time you spend on the mission, just like anything else in this game, but nonetheless your businesses halt production. And then when you finally finish the mission and get paid, again, whether it's the Moonshine story missions, the legendary bounties, the Telegram missions, you have mission cooldown timers. You can't farm another right again to keep yourself entertained. If you don't want to focus on the roles or the free roam, you have to wait. For the Telegram missions, it's 20 real-life minutes. For legendary bounties and Moonshiner story missions, it's 48 real-life minutes, or basically one in-game day. And then there are complaints on the mission structure. Some players don't like fighting through waves and waves of enemies, but ultimately that's entirely what this game is about. You're going from point A to point B and either needing to steal something, loot something, pick something up, or just clear out a group of enemies, and then you ride away and the mission's over. And these robberies are probably going to be more or less the same thing as that. Now that kind of leads me to the next problem that I wanted to mention. Also similar to the structure of these missions, but how are they actually going to play out? What I would interpret as an array of missions with these robberies is Rockstar says that anything that varies from quick holdups to high stakes robberies, we're going to have something we're going to be either at Guido Martelli's place of residence or something like that. We're going to be at some location that's different from the robbery. Then we go to the score, take down the score, whether it's a train, a stagecoach, a person, a house, a ranch, a mansion, an apartment building, whatever it is, a bank even, you know, for one of the more high stakes robberies. And we're gonna blast some people away, we're gonna take the loot, and then we're gonna ride away on horseback, shooting our weapons at either enemies that are trying to get the loot back that we stole, or it's gonna be the police and the law that's chasing us. And if that hasn't interested people for any of the roles, or the telegram missions, or the legendary bounties, or the moonshine story missions, or really just everything else in this game, the free mode events, the free mode missions, the dynamic events, all those things, and they're probably not going to be interested in the robberies as well. And then one of the last things I wanted to bring up is what progression are we going to have, and what progression does this update offer for us as players? Whether this is going to be a role or simply just missions that come in the form of some type of buy-in, obviously, to take advantage of the content. There's roles in this game where you have role equipment and upgrades, and you get different skills for yourself and for your character. Will these missions offer any type of equipment or upgrades for the player? Will there be some new skill tree that's introduced to the game? And I think that Rockstar should really focus on that, bringing some life and some fresh air breathed into this game in that regard. Just overall, if this update doesn't blow everyone's expectations out of the water, is this the nail in the coffin? For one, I don't think everyone's expectations will be blown out of the water. I think it's going to be very hard to do that. I think it's basically impossible for everyone to be completely satisfied with this update. Some people may enjoy it for the first week, some people may enjoy it for the first month, but interest is going to trail off at the end. But is this the nail in the coffin for the game? If it's bad, I guess it depends on how bad it's actually going to be. I don't think this update is going to be a total flop, but I don't think it's going to be a 10 out of 10. Everyone is super impressed. Just like everything else with this game, when it came to Frontier Pursuits, when it came to the Moonshiners update, when it came to the Naturalist, and especially when it came to the Bounty Hunters expansion, the first month is always very nice. Everyone's enjoying the new content, they're taking advantage of the new items, rewards, leveling up a new Outlaw Pass, getting into the new role if a new role was introduced into the game, things like that. But when it comes to the second month and the third month following after the release date of the update, player interest starts to trail off, of course, because we haven't had new content for a while. And with a lot of other games, that starts to be when new content gets introduced to the game. Maybe roadmaps get published, teaser trailers come out, or there's just some announcement that new content is coming in the next couple weeks to a month in that specific game. When it comes to Red Dead Online and GTA Online, we typically have to wait for over half a year for more content to get introduced. There's usually between like 5 and 8 months of a wait in between new content, and I think that is too long to wait in between for what we're getting when it comes to something like the Moonshiner role or the Naturalist role or the Bounty Hunter expansion. Honestly, this game would be in a lot better of a spot if we were getting a role like that, or even just a smaller role expansion like the Bounty Hunter expansion. If that was coming every 3 months in the game, at most 4 months, I think a lot of people would appreciate that more than waiting 6 to 8 months for something like a robbery update, where it really will be a hit or miss depending on how interested you are in the game after that. And just looking at some of the comments here, Youngish thinks that they'll just be like robbery stranger missions, commandeering a stagecoach with someone in it, like all the Anthony Foreman missions. Sure, they might put one on a train or a bank, etc., but the mechanics will be identical. When was the last time anyone at Rockstar actually put creative thought into this game versus just repackaging existing crap? And I don't think everything is necessarily crap, but it is more or less identical and similar, just repurposed into different things. You're always shooting people, you're always riding on horseback. I mean, that's Red Dead Redemption and that's Red Dead Online. So that's more speaking to what type of game you're playing, more so than the content. But at the end of the day, there needs to be something unique about these robberies, and let's hope Rockstar hits that mark. Ibanator says, I don't know about anyone else, but right when I heard new missions, I just thought about the same lame Telegram missions and not an actual role. Knowing Rockstar, that will probably be the case here. And the biggest thing is, I don't want everyone else, and I'm especially trying to not get caught up in thinking if it's just going to be stranger missions, Telegram missions, or something totally different. But will the fundamentals of this type of content we're playing, will this be the next step for the game? We've been playing in like the role phase of Red Dead Online for almost 2 years. It's been a little bit more than than a year and a half. And the next phase of this game could be robberies and whatever else gets introduced, where you go on bigger and more exciting missions that actually have to do with the overall lore and the story of Red Dead Online. But will Rockstar take it that far? That is just something that we will have to see. I really hope they execute on it. I think all of us who are still playing the game, we want the game to succeed. No one wants the game to die, but there's a lot of things that need to be fixed and a lot of things that need to be addressed if Rockstar wants this update to be the most successful yet for Red Dead Online. Ultimately, I would say Frontier Pursuit set up the role aspect and the role phase for the game extremely well. We got 3 roles all at the same time, and they've been riding the coattails on Frontier Pursuit's success. But I think at this point, with 5 entire roles in the game and one of the roles receiving a role expansion, which is of course the Bounty Hunter role, we are looking for the next thing to move on to in this game. And I really hope this robbery update and the summer update is that type of content. So with all that being said, that's all we have time for today. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video today, and I'd love to know what you guys think about all this. What type of missions do you think we're gonna get with the robbery update? Do you think it will be a success? Do you think it's impossible for it to be successful at all? I feel like everyone has different opinions, and I would love to hear yours. With all that being said, hopefully if you did enjoy the video, I earned your like on it. And of course, if you are new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all the best Red Dead Online and Rockstar Games content, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single thing. We consistently talk about updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and even leaks, and we'll keep you guys updated here on the channel daily, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube, and you're more than welcome to ask me any questions on there. You can follow me at HazardousHDTV, and all of my social media links can be found in the description down below. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next Red Dead Online video. Adios, amigos.